Alright, let's get into it. What's up, guys? Back again with another video. So today I'm going to go through an actual tier list of my personal predictions and what I'm going to be looking to play with in 2v2 specifically come Shadowlands. So this may change. Game's not out yet. Comes out tomorrow. Big hype, be there. At the stream, it's gonna be up there. But anyway, this is gonna be a tier list on what I think the best twos comps are gonna be for Wrestle Druid, and more specifically how I play. So kind of playing aggressive and whatnot. And I'll try to give my take on, you know, playing defensive, playing offensive, how you should play. Can this aggressive cat style play work with these comps? Definitely works better than some others, but let's get right into it. So first up we got Affliction Warlock. So Affliction is very hyped up right now. It does a lot of damage on the pre-patch, and it does a lot of damage in beta. The only thing is that, for one, it is definitely can get run down pretty quick by some Mongo melee, like, you know, in-hand shamans, warriors, Death Knights, Windwalkers. It can just be run down, and the lock really has to be on top of their defensives and being like really good at kiting. So like using their pour, using their gate, using coils, everything has to be pretty good. But overall, I think I'm still gonna keep it into the S tier. I think just Warlock, Warlock Druid is just phenomenal. The thing when it comes to playing aggressive, you can't play as aggressive as Destro, I would say, just because you don't have the threat that Destro lock would have unless it's your cooldowns. So I think if I'm playing with an Affliction lock, I'm probably going to be looking for playing a little bit defensive, kind of working on dots more than, you know, playing in and shredding and, you know, maiming and all that kind of stuff. Kind of just keep my dots up and playing a little passive. But dude, when Affliction lock has cooldowns, get your ass in there, man. Because if you can apply pressure on top of Dark Soul dots from Affliction, you're going to completely roast the teams. Next up we got Arcane Mage. So Arcane Mage is actually my personal favorite to play with. So just for that reason, I'm going to put it as S, because I think if you can play this perfectly between, you know, mass invis, polys, clones, rotations, getting maims on cooldown, it's like, I feel like I'm playing Rogue Mage, man. Like with arcane damage buff and all the stuff that's going on. I think if this comp is definitely not an easier one, I would definitely say a lock would probably a way easier class to, or comp to play. But dude, Arcane Mage, if you can get the synergy with your partner with polys and clones and maims, it's just phenomenal. I think it's going to be a really good comp. Next up we got Warrior, Arms Warrior specifically. So Arms, very strong. The thing is, playing how I play is really tough with a Warrior. It's better. It's going to be better in Shadowlands than it was in BFA. In BFA, I felt like whenever you would play aggressive, you were very easily countered because the Warrior didn't have a, you know, significant enough peel. He wasn't a threat for them to go you as like a caster. So if you like get off a caster, you know, you have the threat of them pumping on you. But a Warrior is doing the same damage all the time, right? So it's not really that much of a threat. But they do have Intervene now. They have the Intervene Reflect. They have. It just seemed like they're They're going to be much better spec in Shadowlands. I'm gonna put it in kind of between A and B. I think if you're playing more defensive, not that you're playing Guardian Infinity, but you're playing more defensive, it could be, you know, I'm gonna put it in A tier. I'm gonna put it A tier. Just because how much damage it does. Okay, that's just it. It's just fucking pumps. But again, I think if you're playing with a Warrior, you're gonna have to kind of be a little more cautious on your aggressive plays and whatnot, because very easily can be punished. You know, like if you're pushing in with like a lock or an Arcane Mage, that Arcane Mage can probably fear you. The lock could fear for you. The Arcane Mage or lock can, you know, pop cooldowns and you know, force them off you. Warrior can't really do that much. So just for that reason, I'm gonna keep it in A. Next up, we got Assassination Rogue. Assassination Rogue. To be honest, I kind of want to put it at. I think I'm gonna put it at a B tier, just because rogues are just phenomenal right now. But the synergy with Druid is a little weird, just because of all the stuns. Druid, that's probably like one of the best things that's gonna be coming in Shadowlands with Maim and Bash, and, you know, still having Shadow Meld Rake stun if you're playing Feral Affinity. It gets a little weird with the stuns and being able to DR them. but I think Assassination might have an edge over Sub when it comes to playing with the Druid, because if you play kind of dot and rot, it actually works really well. Thing is though, the dot and rot spec, kind of like how BFA was, like with gushing and all that, and garrote silences and the garrote being so strong, it worked a lot better because you were able to put out a lot more dot pressure. But Shadowlands is looking to be really bursty, so we'll see. I'm gonna put it in B tier for right now. BM Hunter. I almost want to put it in A tier because this thing fucking sauces if you don't take account into the pets. All right, so I'm gonna say, if you're playing like more lower rated stuff, I think you could put this into an A tier, but I think when people get a hang on, playing against pets and being able to hibernate, root them, CC them, kill them, I think you can get taken advantage real easy. So I'm gonna put it in B. But with that said, I don't know, I haven't really played with any like crazy BM hunters, but I've been freaking sauced so hard by BM hunters. And then just Hunter, Druid in general, the synergy is just phenomenal if you can, keep up with the traps and the stuns, especially with maim being a thing now. Like if you can set, because the problem with BM Hunter was that they couldn't set up their traps with stuns all the time because they had their intimidation cooldown. But if you can maim for him, or bash, and then get a trap off of that, and then you cyclone, and then, but typically how Hunter or Druid would work is you would open with stun trap on the healer, then the other person would stun the DPS. You would then, at the end of the trap, you would try to go, set up for a clone. You go for triple clone, double or triple clone, and then at the end of it, probably more so a double, double clone, and then you would swap the clone to the DPS, double, triple clone him, and then by that time, trap's up again, and then you just rinse and repeat. As long as you're not getting stopped on it. So for that reason, I'm still gonna keep it in the B tier. But pets are definitely an issue because of how long Revive Pet is. So we'll see how that goes. Boomy, I'm gonna put it as C, man. I'll be honest. I love Boomy. I play Boomy. I'm going to play some Boomy. Boomy in 2s just feels awful. Maybe, just maybe, it could work with playing aggressive RDRUID, but you would have to play really aggressive. I think in 2s, Boomy is very tanky, but the issue is it doesn't have enough pressure. It does do great, sustained damage, but the pressure just, I feel like it's not there. It's Incarn, great, it's there, but outside of that, it's like, I don't know. We'll see how it works. It also depends on what the main healers are. If there's a lot of RDRUIDs out there and you can't root beam, that's a big fault on that. But if there's a lot of disc priests and R shamans and paladins, and you can get instant root beams into clones into stuns, could be good. But I'm gonna keep it in the C tier for that. Demo Warlock. I'm gonna keep it down here as well. Demo. I love Demo again. I would love to play Demo more, to be honest, if I had the time to gear and mess with that class, but it's just not there. The defensiveness is not there. You just get trained down. It's actually not too bad against into casters. Like Demo, playing Demo RDRUID, probably pretty solid into casters. Demo just between axe toss, having your kick, having your sphere, having your coil, you have so many little mini CCs to disrupt people. But I'm gonna keep it at the D tier or C tier, just because I still see some potential. But you gotta be playing that Demo lock's gotta be not rocking your socks off, man. Destro lock, no brainer there. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna try to order these two. I think it'd be more like this. So Destro lock, again, same things I was talking about. Lock, super big threat, and honestly, not much has changed. They lost haste, but that's it. Their Chaos Bolt's still pumped. They still have Infernal Stun, Coil, Shadow Fury, Fear, and just that continuous disruption and threat of huge damage all the time. I still think Destro Lock's gonna be definitely an S tier comp for RDRUID, especially playing aggressive. Ellie, I'm putting this up here too, man. I think there's gonna be a lot of good comps, honestly. But Ellie, again, the casters are phenomenal. Ellie is just popping off so hard right now. Ellie's always been a great comp, even in BFA, but the problem was the damage wasn't always there. But in Shadowlands, man, this shit just pumps, and just randomly we could just one-shot somebody. And if you could just set up keep your dots on both targets, lasso. I don't even know if I would lasso the main target. Yeah, I probably would. I'd probably go for maim clones on the DPS, on the healer, and then just lasso, and then potentially DR stunning off with the lassos, and just playing them. And again, with especially with with if you're not playing like a complete rot spec, like more like Destro, I would say more Destro AF. You're just kind of pumping the whole time. Ellie, I think you can do really good rotations with like hexes and clones, kind of almost like you're playing mage druid, right? And then just Ellie has the potential to just have some insane burst on stuns. So I think they're definitely gonna keep it an S tier. Enhanced shaman, I'm gonna put it at C. I'm gonna put it at C. Like I'm not gonna give anything a D tier to be honest. But C tier just because their damage is kind of ridiculous right now. So I don't know what's gonna happen with them. Their damage is really, really, really high though. So just because of that, defensively they're again really weak. Just like kind of these, just like kind of like Demo Lock was. Boomy's pretty tanky, but enhance just the synergy with, you know. They don't have like on-demand stuns. They have cap totem, kind of garbage though. You really just have damage. That's really all you are. But maybe if you can set up, you know, good clones, or maybe like cap into hex into clone, and then like you're maiming like the kill target, and then just synergizing like ascendance and stuff like with that. Maybe some potential, but I'm gonna keep it down low. Feral, I'm gonna be honest. I'm putting that shit A. After this Feral buff, my goodness, Feral does a lot of damage. And especially with all the hybrids coming into Shadowlands, they are all doing a phenomenal amount of healing. So even though it's a class stacking comp, I think it's going to be really good, especially playing aggressive. You got dual cast running. You just make sure you just, you know, don't overlap your maims. And one person maims one target, one maims the other, and then you both have clone. If one person gets stopped on clone, the other one can clone. And I would always recommend the Feral being the one to prioritize cloning, because then you don't have to risk kicking. Because if a Feral gets kicked, you know, whatever. But between Feral's burst, Feral's just sustained damage, Feral's off healing, and then this, and just, you know, I would just be rotting both, and then keeping bleeds up on both, and then just, you know, prioritizing one target with bites, and I think you can do really well. Fire mage, just because it's the mage, I'm gonna keep it as a B tier. I'm gonna keep it as a B tier just because it's a mage. Mage just poly just synergizes so well, but DB is kind of wacky with Druid, to be honest. Fire Mage definitely works better with like a Holy Paladin, because just having on-demand Hodges for polys, just really good. And then you don't have to worry about DRing anything with DB. But damage is still good for Fire. I don't really, it's kind of been buffed and nerfed all over the place, so I don't really know where it's gonna end up, but I'm gonna keep it at a B for right now. Frost Mage, I'm putting this at S tier as well. Frost Mage does a lot of damage. It's been nerfed like 19, 15 times. I don't even know, but it's still strong. Again, it's also a mage, just polymorph synergy with like Cyclone and Druids, just out of this world. And then even with, you know, against Druids, you can do those hibernate poly combos. If you haven't done that and you play with a mage, you've got to try that. So like basically what you would do is just, you know, if you're, especially if you're in voice, it's a lot easier, but just coordinating, like either one person's calling out poly or hibernate, and then you just both do it at the same time. The Druid can't shift it. Either he shifts out, he gets polyed, or he stays in form and he gets hibernated. And it's the same DR, same same duration. Just really, really scary. Especially me, like me personally playing a Druid, that's a nightmare to play against Mage Druid. Next up, DK, Frost DK. I'm gonna keep it down here. I'm honestly, I'm not gonna give anything a D tier, I don't think. Just because, like, I feel like Shadowlands is like almost mop-esque in the sense that everyone does so much damage. There's not one spec in the game where I'm like, damn, they don't do anything. They're just a noodle. Like, maybe Fury. I don't know. We'll see what's coming up next. But yeah, Frost DK. Again, it's kind of like on the same boat. It's enhanced. It just does a lot of damage. It's doesn't really, you know, help you out anything with playing aggressive, and especially if you play aggressive, again, very counterable. Not much they can do. At least enhance can off heal you, and like Hex, DK can't really do anything. So you're just kind of either, you know, you either go super hard and just kill somebody, or they just take advantage of you and you go down. So I think I'm gonna keep that one as a C tier. Next up, we got Fury Warrior. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put a D tier. I don't think there's any use for this. The only reason, like, you know, Arms Warrior is just so much better. You know, the damage is way higher. You have MS. MS is just phenomenal. Mortal wound, reduced healing received. It's just, you know, great. Again, damage is okay from Fury. It's just kind of always in the same spot. It's just a really good PvE spec. Just kind of in PvP. Maybe you can make it work. I don't know, but from my personal view, the damage being not as good, and on top of that, it has nothing to really help you, especially playing aggressive. You can just get countered in a heartbeat. So definitely gonna stick that down in D tier. DH, I'm gonna put it. I'm putting it in B tier. The thing though, so DH RDRUID has been a phenomenal comp in BFA, whether you played Guardian Affinity or Guardian Affinity or Feral Affinity, because damage is just always so high. But what they've lost was a lot of defensiveness, and like they don't have their Blade Dance dodge anymore, and they don't have the same amount of leeches they would. In meta, I think they do still, so that's why I would still keep it in a B tier, but it's just kind of the damage is very high. I think people are very underestimating DH's damage. People are like, it's a shit class, it's going down, it's a F tier, whatever. I mean, I play on the beta, man. If you queue into any good, I don't even know if I even played any good DHs, but there's some DHs that they just completely destroy you. And again, if just like a BFA, man, if you can probably get ahead of the gear curve, you're gonna probably destroy people. Sinful Brand is really strong, and Unbound Chaos is really strong right now, so we'll see. Marksman Hunter, yeah. S tier. Marksman Hunter is just out of this world right now. I think it's just such a good comp or class right now. Again, the only thing is the stuns, just kind of how that BM was. Depends how you play. I think a good hunter is gonna have no problem with this. But if you're playing like a little bit lower rating, or you're not as experienced hunter, or the not as experienced hunter, you might have some trouble getting the traps. You got to really be on top of getting those traps. If you don't get traps, Marksman's probably not going to be. RDRUID there's no point in playing with RDRUID at that point, because if you don't get the traps, you can't get it's hard to get the clones, and then it's just hard to create pressure. Hunter Druid is just really good getting those rotational clones and traps. So the damage, if this damage stays this high, 100% an S tier comp to play with the Druid for sure. And I think everyone's seen how crazy Marksman can be. Outlaw Rogue next. Sticking in C tier. Not gonna put it in D, because just again, rogues freaking they're just disgusting. So no matter what spec rogue you are, you're gonna pump. And then having stuns, again, the stuns are like kind of weird, like it can be like kind of wonky between using their stuns and your stuns. A little better than sub, but just kind of in the middle, dude. I don't really have much of an opinion. I've never played this comp. I don't see myself ever playing it, but if anyone was wondering, I'd probably put it in the C. I don't think it's that bad, just because rogues are strong, but it's not that good. Ret. All right, so this is my thought here. So I really haven't played with solid Rets, or many solid Rets. I think and I haven't seen people play like this. I played like this with a friend of mine, but he was playing really under geared, and we were kind of just messing around. But rotating Rep, Clone, and Hodge felt freaking good. It felt like I was playing with a mage, not Arcane, just a mage in general. If you just prioritize CC instead of like the Mongoness that Ret normally does, like, yeah, again, you're still gonna burst on your Hodges, but like going for Hodge Rep into Cyclone, and then, or actually probably would be better to clone first, to be honest. Maybe like Hodge Clone, and then go for, a Maim Stun or a Bash, and then they go for, double clone into a Rep, and then you clone the off target and then bring it back. Kind of the same way you would run Hunter too. I haven't seen people really play like that, but I think that has so much potential. And then Red on top of that just is so strong right now. Off healing is out of this world as well. Again, another hybrid class. I think it's a solid pickup, man. I'll be honest. And I just really don't think people have really, taken advantage of the potential of repentance with Druid. I think it's definitely has its place. I hope I get a chance to play this. Shadow Priest, easy. I honestly, if I were to order these up, I would probably put it like something like, dude, I don't even know. My personal opinion, I'm not a big fan of F. It's good, but I'm not a fan of it compared to these classes. I think these are all going to be better. Probably switch these two as well. That's probably my order on that tier actually. So Shadow Priest, I don't think I need to say that much on Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest is just insane right now. It does so much damage, so much healing, so much mini little CCs, and it synergizes phenomenally. I honestly, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm putting it as the top comp for you to play as RDRUID, especially playing aggressive. If you can, so the key for playing like this, keep up your dots on both targets, preferably. Don't even have to worry about clones so much. And then just going for, I'd probably do more so, you know, try to get clones or fears. But just gotta be careful with your dots. But going for healer kills, you go for either, you can go for a maim into a psychic horror, into a short silence. I would probably run short silence with this, just to have so many goes. And especially on healers, man. If you can stack up Devouring Plagues, go for double stun into a silence, and you could probably do that once a minute. And it's like a, what, a 7-second CC chain? It's just so good on top of all the damage and the healing and the CC and the, you know, utility, have a life swap. You have so much to take advantage of. If this class stays tuned as the way it is, it's gonna be incredible, I think, especially playing aggressive. I think it's gonna be my #1 comp to look forward to playing. Sub Rogue, gonna put a B. Definitely better than Outlaw. I honestly would probably rather play with an Assassination Rogue versus a Sub Rogue. Just because the damage is kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Disregard that. But again, stun's kind of weird. Kind of doesn't really synergize well with the Druid. Definitely would work way better with like a Disc Priest or another DPS, honestly. Playing with a Shadow Priest or something. So the damage is just so high though. That's why I can't not put it at least a B tier. But just the synergy isn't there with Druid, that's for sure. Survival Hunter, I want to put it S tier, but I just don't think it's on the same level as those classes. I'm gonna put it as the top A tier. I'm gonna reorganize it at the end, but I think I'm gonna put it at the top A tier, like really up there, because again, the Hunter Druid synergy is phenomenal. Traps into Cyclones, into, you know, all of the things that they can do. Pet Sack. A lot more guaranteed traps with survival. Survival damage, I think, is very underestimated as well, just because it's overshadowed by Marksman. But survival damage is freaking good. I don't think it's up there with Marksman, but it has a lot of potential and a lot of good synergy with RDRUID, and looking forward to playing that as well. Next one, Unholy Decay. I'm gonna put that in B tier. Better than Frost, I think, just because the damage is just like some of these classes, like their potential comps, just because they just do so much damage. Like, I can't not put it there just because it doesn't matter. Some comps you don't even need synergy, just do damage and you win. And I think Unholy is one of those. The damage is so high right now on the beta that even though there's pretty much no synergy, I would probably, if you're a DK, I'd probably want to play with like a Holy Paladin or a Disc Priest, maybe even, or Shaman. No, probably Shaman would be really good actually, because they're both just kind of tanky in that sense. But I'm gonna put it as B tier just because it does a lot of damage. It doesn't really do that much, you know, synergizing with Druid. Just kind of do damage. And then the last but not least, Windwalker. This one's kind of tough. I'm gonna put it right here. Windwalker is insanely strong right now. Don't get me wrong, I did not put it S tier, but it is an S tier DPS. Oh my goodness. It does so much damage. Synergy, doesn't really, I mean, it does, you know, you can take advantage of like the hit and run style, but it's gonna be it's very damage dependent. These comps, like that I'm saying, like, you know, Windwalker, Arms Warrior, like DK, Rogue, this synergy doesn't matter when the damage is that high, but if they end up touching the damage, that comp's potential is just down, you know, it's just non-existent at that point. But because the class does so much damage, it's just up there. Like I don't know if there's anything, honestly, it might be the best DPS in the class, the best melee in the game right now. It does so much damage, so much healing, so much mobility. In twos, it's going to be a marvelous class to play with, but I think Survival Hunter may have more potential. The Windwalker just got to be playing the socks off to make it an S tier class, or S tier comp, I think, because these are just way better when it comes to especially playing aggressive. But yeah, so let me I'm gonna my final, I think the S tier, this should be good when it comes to ordering them. This is again my personal, this isn't what's best, this is my personal choice. And then A tier, I'd probably put warrior at the bottom of that. And then when it comes to B tier, I'd probably put fire mage first, BM hunter next, DH, probably something like this. Maybe switch these two. I'll switch these. I'm personally not a big fan of personally playing with rogues. I would definitely put Boomy first. I'd probably put rogue. Probably put rogue next, and then enhance. And I'll probably put it like this. This is probably my final tier list for my 2's comps. Yeah, and this is just, you know, disclaimer, this is my personal picks. This isn't what's absolutely gonna be best. I don't know what's gonna be the best. We'll find out in a few weeks. But if you're looking, you know, you don't really know what to play, who to play with, these are probably my choices, who I would play with. And, you know, take it with a grain of salt, or take it as you know, if you like it a lot. But that's kind of my opinion on it. So that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys follow the stream up above for some more Shadowlands content. Shadowlands coming out tomorrow as of recording this video today. We're going to be leveling. We're going to be grinding. We're going to be queuing a lot of 2s this season. So get ready for it. Make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like. If you enjoyed, and happy, you wonderful, fantastic day. Peace.